song for a movie podcast. Some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us, we're Cinema Buns. Let's go!
Like
Welcome to
that guy
Cinema
on a tuba.
Buns.
Oh,
I'm Ritter.
What are we? Okay. Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Jonah Hill.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know why I chose him.
So, the CIA usually does that, but I asked them to do that specifically. Just for you.
You know, before we go into this review, I would like to offer a prayer. Everyone's been praying recently, and I want to pray for some stuff. There's some nice stuff.
Everyone's been praying for people, but you know what else is nice?
It's like bags, shoes.
Video games,
Yeah.
Stuff.
Kevin, what are we talking about today?
So I got an ominous message that said from Ritter that says "Don't look up," and I don't know what that meant. So, I've been looking down ever since. It's made my life very hard.
You passed the test.
I
I just guess at streetlights.
See, my issue was I
Yeah,
got
no,
the same message, but I did look up, and I regretted it since.
no. So he said, "Don't look up," but I couldn't help myself, so I looked up, and I found a bunch of Pixar ups Rule 34. I don't know.
What the fuck? Okay. Mike, what's
That
this
is the
movie
bit.
about?
So this movie.
The movie's
is
called "Don't Look Up." That's what we're talking about. Just to clear that up.
Yeah, I was.
Don't
about to
look
say
up
that, yeah.
Kevin's browser history.
So yeah,
Shut
this
up,
is
shut
about
up. Fuck up, shut up.
I'm trying to think of. I'll just say it. So this is a movie about some astronomers who found a comet and it's heading for Earth, and they're trying to basically do a public outcry on trying to stop the comet from hitting us before it's too late.
Well, it's not that. First, it's just trying to get the public informed in the first place.
Well, I'm just giving you the general
Yes.
story of the movie. But yeah, and that's the general premise of the movie. It's a dark humor. It's a dark comedy movie.
It's very dark,
Yeah, very dark comedy.
very comedy.
Very depressing.
Yeah, very very depressing.
So let's.
What do you guys think about this movie before we get into it too
let's
far?
talk about positives, and then we'll go into negatives. So
Okay.
positives. Everyone acted phenomenally. This is by
Mhm.
the same director that did The Big Short. He also did Booksmart and other good movies and some bad movies. But all the actors in it, Leonardo DiCaprio, Cate Blanchett, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, everyone is good at acting in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
there's...
a stellar cast. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And everyone gets time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is though is like the beginning of the movie, it's throwing a bunch of fucking names at you. It's just like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Ron Perlman. I saw Meryl Streep.
Ariana Grande.
Yeah. And then I didn't know who what's his face, Sean whatever, but that's Kid Cudi. So I know him as Kid Cudi. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
didn't know his real
surprised
name
by the number of actors in
Yeah,
this movie.
and then like it did single names and then fucking just started showering you with more names, and I'm like, God damn, this cast is stacked.
Yeah.
I saw Timothy Chalamet's name pop up and I was like, okay. And it wasn't until like 75-80% of the movie that Timothy actually shows up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Even though he came in at the tail end, he was still fantastic. Timothy is always like an Oscar-worthy actor, and like it's amazing that he's only like so young.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other positive. I liked the pacing. I think the pacing was good. It didn't, and nothing seemed necessarily rushed. They, as they were going through their bits and stuff.
So it's like a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, it is a long movie.
I thought
but
It did not feel 2.5 hours.
okay,
to
I
me.
won't say that, but
yeah, I know I won't say that either. But I thought that it would be over by like the 1 hour 40 minute mark because I didn't know where else they could go.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they found more things to do.
Yeah. And I was
more problems showed up, and then I was like, "Oh my god!"
okay. I think I'll be the first.
Everything
one to say
sucks. My life sucks. I hate everyone.
I'm just gonna say it. I did not like this movie. I did not have a good time
Whoa,
watching
whoa,
this
you're
movie.
busting your load too early,
I
man.
just had to get it. I couldn't keep talking without just letting everyone know that I just did not enjoy this movie.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's why I like tried to talk about the pacing.
So why didn't you enjoy this
It's
movie?
not my humor. It's like I said, I see what makes this movie good, and I could see why it's good, but it definitely didn't appeal to me.
Is the feeling that it's like mean spirited or something?
Not necessarily mean spirited.
Do you understand where the humor is coming from?
Yeah,
though?
I see where the humor's coming from and stuff like that. But like I said, I don't like dumb I don't like people being too dumb, I guess, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a certain level of me just being okay with certain things, and then other things where I'm just
Mike,
oh my god, I'm banging my head against the wall right now.
People are that dumb.
People are that dumb. And
these weren't comedy characters that were written. These were realistically portrayed characters.
These were quote unquote allegories to real people.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's fine.
Other than Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's written for comedy.
Yeah, he was definitely but I didn't like the main cat. I didn't like the Leonardo DiCaprio did a good job, but I didn't like his character. I wasn't a fan of that.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't a fan of most of the characters.
They're all kind of assholes, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't my, like I said, I see what makes it good. It just wasn't, it wasn't my style of comedy or things like that.
Yeah.
That was the only issue for me. That's why I had to stop this movie 3 different times just to be oh my god,
Well, the comedy didn't actually propel me forward through this movie in the first place.
It was the cynicism.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, and just
because
it's also a suspense movie technically.
Yeah,
because it's an apocalyptic world-ending event, and in any disaster movie, you're all right, what are they gonna do?
Do they actually solve the problem?
Yeah, what are they gonna do to solve the problem? And then that's actually my drive for the rest of the movie.
Right.
So it was funny near the beginning. I was like, this has a similar pacing and style to The Big Short,
which actually I saw. Even though I think it was 2014 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It won the Academy Award in 2014. Even though I was in my 20s, it was still too big brain for me when I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So it has 0 impressions on me right now. I don't remember much from Big Short. I remember it just being very fast and snappy.
Yeah, I actually need to watch The Big Short. But other thing, because it's an allegory and stuff, I don't like those type of people, which is probably why I was dying from this movie.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, but that's probably another reason why I was dying and not wanting to watch this movie.
I think it would also probably give you some military PTSD.
On some level, yeah. Because there were certain scenes where I was
3-star general.
No, I didn't care about that. It was just
paid.
There were certain people were allowing things to happen that I guess if I was in that same position, I would say something else but I also understood the way the movie was formed and how certain things go, okay, sure. But then there are other parts where I'm just I wouldn't deal with this person to begin with, but I understand why they have to deal with this person. But also, I just am not a fan of this whole situation.
Anyone was.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
it was just hard for me to watch.
Let's bring this up then. Jennifer Lawrence just plays Jennifer Lawrence in the movie.
Which one's Jennifer Lawrence again?
The scientist that discovered the comet.
Yeah, I think she was kind of like the how a normal person would act in those situations.
Yeah.
And I think she was kind of like that.
But
connection.
I thought Leo's acting was really good. I really liked him as the humble and nervous wreck scientist, and
I saw his downturn a mile away though because of that kind of character archetype.
And I love the opening scene because it shows them they're super excited. They discovered a comet. Oh my god, this is a big discovery for a PhD. And
hey, let's plot its course.
Let's just for fun. Let's go ahead and do it. Yeah,
find its orbit.
Why is that number getting smaller? I need everyone except you out of this room. And then when the realization comes when they call NASA and they're like, yeah, we need to do this. And they're just like, oh, fuck, this is real. Oh my God, this is real. Because like at that point, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, holy fuck, what would happen if we actually like found, and it was...
Well,
Yeah, so...
it actually did.
Yeah.
So...
What... Before we get into what our theories or just what we know this is an allegory towards, what did you guys think about the, like, political commentary in this? So, in my opinion, I feel that the political commentary is super on the nose.
Yeah.
I feel like...
But it's supposed to be on the point, but it's also realistic.
It is. And I feel like there are some parts, though, that I felt like maybe if they softened it up a little bit, it would have played better.
Yeah.
But they were not leaving anything up to interpretation.
Yeah, they were just kind of going in on it.
Yeah, so Kevin, why don't you start with, what do you think this was an allegory for?
So early, or actually it's late 2019, some monkeys and bats came out of a biological lab, creating a virus that spread throughout China, and then everyone thought, oh, it's like the swine flu, it'll stay in that continent. And then the coronavirus spread throughout the entire planet. And this natural disaster turned into a bipartisan political argument between two sides. Between the coronavirus, also an aspect of the coronavirus not existing.
Yeah.
And that it also existed. Yes.
Yeah. I literally, one of my notes is politics takes precedent over actual threat.
Right.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
they're selfish.
The thing is, though, is because this is like satire in that the coronavirus is not immediately threatening, and it's also not visible.
Right.
So it's
just like the comet.
Yeah.
well, I think the comet also is like that to a point up until like it actually gets closer, because then it's visible, and also the clock is very much ticking.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened with the
Yeah,
Reno.
because once it actually
Like-
became visible, all of a sudden the public was like,
Yeah.
oh God, this is
Yeah,
like...
once they started realizing people were dying, they were like, oh.
Yeah, the thing with the coronaviruses, though, is like, okay, so the comet has you can scientifically pinpoint its point of impact. They mapped it out to 6 months, 14 days.
Mhm.
And they also, with precision, can figure out that it's going to land in the Pacific Ocean. The coronavirus, the spread, it can mathematically be graphed. You can calculate like how quickly it's going to spread, but
and
it also
population density. And...
yeah, and but it's not as certain. So there is still that chance and that ambiguity that it won't get to your like neighborhood, it won't get to your part of the globe if you're like in some rural village that's disconnected from the rest of the world.
Right.
Like it doesn't immediately, or it doesn't visibly impact you.
Yeah.
Whereas like a comet is a little bit more concrete, so that's
Mhm.
why it's a little bit more satirical, because it's an upscale, more
Right.
immediate threat. Like the next level beyond the comet reaching Earth is just a giant monster in space
Right.
coming, and then all the conservatives are like, the giant monster is not real.
Oh my God, I loved Meryl Streep as female Trump. She can make any role work.
Fucking like when they had the speeches at the end, they
Oh, yeah.
had the fucking "Don't Look Up" hats.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ju-
my favorite
And I
was
was like,
the,
oh my god.
the rich and the workers, and then them.
Yeah.
That speech was hilarious. That actually made me laugh.
See, we need you guys to do that so we can be better. Because
we
you
need
prop
the-
us up.
And when you prop us up, we can go against them.
And do cool shit.
But
Yeah.
we need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
And I'm talking about spa workers. I'm talking about shop thieves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Jonah Hill's character is a little bit on the nose. Whether or not he was necessary for the movie.
I think he was.
I think he
He was there so that way I didn't actually kill myself by the time the movie ended.
yeah. So
I almost wanted to.
So
but-
like his character was a little bit obtrusive to me because the comedy is played out in the situations
and it's played out like flat.
yeah throughout the entire like movie, but Jonah Hill actually has verbal jokes
Right.
and says funny things, which is like way on the nose
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the movie. But yeah, he did like stop me from committing toaster bath.
Yeah.
Not since End of Evangelion has a
Man.
movie that been this depressing.
Yeah, and yeah, the writing is good and the depression is great. But I feel like it started veering off a little bit. It started going too much into the political standpoint, I think.
It was going a little too ham.
I feel like if it eased up on that a little bit, it would have improved the movie overall. Because I know one of the big I was already excited to see this movie, but another reason that I wanted to watch it for the podcast was because people were saying, oh, it's an Oscar contender. And after watching it, I'm like, if it's an Oscar contender, it's probably going to be because, and I'm not saying this as like a political statement of my views or whatever, but because it agrees with Hollywood's general political leanings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And although I think the writing was solid and I think the acting was solid, I don't know how much of it is actually worthy of an Oscar nomination.
Yeah. When you guys were telling me it was an Oscar buzz, when you guys were telling me the Oscar buzz, because here's another thing too. I think what didn't help me with not liking this movie is I don't pay attention to the news unless it has something to do with my job. So it's like,
Being retired? Yeah.
No,
it's hardworking.
but so like, yeah, so a lot of this I never actually saw in like real life. I never like could make those connections. I never cared. I don't listen to like news and stuff like that unless
He didn't know
it's, like,
the coronavirus existed until.
Well, I mean,
we told him.
until
He was just like,
if I'm
why is
gonna
everyone
be, if
wearing
I'm
a
gonna be
mask?
honest, like the only reason why I even knew about the coronavirus is because my buddy was more in tune with like things going on like in the real world than I was. And like I did not really care too much, if I'm just gonna be honest. But like not in the sense of like, oh no, like it's not gonna affect me. More in the sense of like, if it happens, it happens. I'll deal with it when the time comes. Is more my thought process. Like that's just how I am as a person. Like I never want, like I always make a joke to, because I know a few people who've always wanted a plague to happen. And then I never wanted that. I never make that joke for this very purpose.
You know what makes me laugh about that is that your point of view is almost pointed out and made fun of in this
right?
movie.
I know
where
it is.
people are like, if it doesn't affect me, why should I care?
But like it's more like if it doesn't.
Granted,
affect
the big difference is one is a giant fucking comet about to annihilate the Earth.
Yeah.
And
the other one is like, I mean, I'll either survive or I won't survive, but we'll figure that out eventually. But yeah, so like I always make a joke to them being like, oh, you got your plague now, what do you want? It's like I never make that joke because I never want bad things to happen.
yeah.
But like I was like, don't ask for things again then, don't, because I'm also very cynical though. Like if people, no, I won't talk about it.
Yeah, no,
Everyone-
actually, I never joke about wishing death on anyone.
yeah. Because yeah,
Please
that's
don't look back on any previous episodes where I made jokes about that.
Hey, look, I'll joke about
timestamp 1, timestamp 2.
Look, I'll make a joke about my own death any day of the
Yeah, no,
week,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like
that.
I'll never wish upon that for someone else. Because you never know anyone's situation at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, like the parts that were like there was, I think, only really like 2 scenes I think that made fun of my specific point of view, and those actually made me laugh because I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, that's true. That's about right. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with that because like, hey, if it's funny, I will always let it slide.
Yeah.
If you make it funny, I'll let it slide.
I really enjoyed the visible frustration of Jennifer Lawrence's character
Oh
And-
yeah.
and Leo's character when they're like, why won't you fucking listen?
Right.
This isn't a puff piece. This isn't some bullshit. We're trying to set something so you don't fucking die.
Right.
And then like people just going off and she's like and like making the memes and stuff of her and she's like, what? Why won't people listen? Like where the
and it's so funny. That actually also got another crackle out of me.
yeah.
But that
and then
was
I love that Leo's character becomes super famous.
because he's hot.
yeah.
yeah.
Because they trimmed up his beard.
Yeah, that was actually one thing that I was banging my head against because, like, oh my god, they're
Oh, you
actually,
didn't
they're
think-
actually going through with the bit. Oh my god,
You didn't know it was gonna extend that far.
I-
Well, I knew it was gonna extend fairly far because I knew he was gonna get full of himself.
Yeah,
I saw that
I-
a mile away.
Yeah, I saw that early too, and
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed they did that
Yeah,
because I felt like you could have done something less obvious with it. But you
Right.
know, I'm not a Hollywood writer,
right,
so-
exactly. And so, like, that's something I didn't like.
I'm just cheating, and on the trivia section under Don't Look Up, one of the trivia is the hair and makeup wardrobe departments collaborated to make DiCaprio's character look as bland and sexless as possible.
That's funny.
that's a funny little
Which-
trivia tidbit.
Because yeah, he looks very dorky. He looks very nervous, and he.
But everyone props him up as this like sex symbol
Yeah.
of science.
oh yeah. Is there anyone that's a reference to that in the real world?
Dr. Fauci
I don't think.
I have no
I don't
idea.
think anyone like.
simps for Fauci, but
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever tried to sexualize Fauci.
no, but I think his character is supposed to be a representation of Fauci.
Isn't it funny that oh my god, who started Apple?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, yes.
Isn't it
Oh my
funny
god.
I actually knew that. Holy crap!
Yeah, good job. Isn't it funny how it's been like 10 years after Steve Jobs died and we're still making characters out of him?
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Okay.
was funny.
Everything to do with Bash.
I fucking love Mark Rylance. He
Yes.
can act anything
He did
wants.
a good job. He did a real good job.
I fucking lost my mind with everything related to Bash. Like, with all of the sensors and stuff, it can tell how happy or sad you are and do a video to make you happy or whatever. And then, like, one of the kids, can I say something? No. Shut up. It was like, please refrain from taking videos, photographs, making negative
eye
faces,
Oh,
making
yeah,
eye contact
contact.
with him.
making negative face expressions, or making critiques or anything. And he's got the most pearly ass white teeth, and he's like, have we done additional research on that puppy riding a chicken? I find that bird quite threatening. And oh my god, just the to Apple, Facebook, and shit. That was I thought that shit was
Yeah,
funny.
I thought it was a cool little nod about, like, you know, like big companies selling your information and stuff like that
Yeah.
for other
We can
for, like,
even
yeah,
our
and just tearing down. That was actually something I enjoyed, was seeing Leonardo DiCaprio's character get torn down by
It's
just
like-
this.
our network profiles can even detect when you will die.
and
you will-
how?
Oh, I just liked the bars that man was throwing at him, just being like, your information was so
So bland, so
and
normal, that I
so
don't even-
insignificant.
I don't even remember how you die, but there was one thing I remember. It's gonna be alone.
And I was like, damn.
I do laugh at the kind of comical way they identified how. So with the government, when they were trying to do their deflection of the comet, which, by the way, is an actual plan they have in place. So
Are we doing full spoilers?
I think at this point,
well, we've already mentioned
Yeah.
some stuff, but
No, I
there-
mean like we can. Oh, I think we can talk about things that happen in the movie as long as they don't pertain to if they solve the problem or not.
yeah,
should we just go into spoilers then? Give them a quick spoiler.
Not
warning?
really,
Nah. Okay. Cool.
not yet. but
or ever.
Or ever.
I guess, I mean, are you guys ready to go into spoiler
I'm ready to
territory?
go to
I
spoilers.
think
I
it-
thought we were already talking about
No,
spoilers.
I mean specifically just the ending.
Oh,
I think
okay.
knowing
'Cause-
the ending affects how you
Your
see this movie.
enjoyment.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's.
Then
So
do you wanna
one
start-
of the things I wanted to point out, I'm gonna not point out just because it is gonna reveal the ending of the movie.
right.
But it definitely shows how like professional like people who are in charge of solving these issues actually take all the precautions they need to make sure it succeeds. They do extra steps to ensure complete.
Right.
Meanwhile, companies and stuff that want to make money, they'll do whatever they can quickest do and cheapest to get what they want.
Mhm.
And if
Yep.
it doesn't work out, they're screwed because they didn't prepare anything past that.
Right.
And they don't want to listen to anyone else because they're the big bucks.
exactly. Should
I-
we
there-
we just go into recommendations or not?
Not
then?
yet,
Okay.
because there is one
There's still
comedic.
different aspects of this.
Oh,
movie.
yeah,
Yeah,
true. Yeah, okay.
there's one comedic bit that's done through the whole movie, which we touched on earlier, is my favorite bit. They go to the White House, and a general comes back with snacks, and it's like, okay, it's about $10 a piece, and it's like one small bag of Cheez-Its and a water bottle,
Yeah.
and they pay for it, and then all of a sudden, like, out of anger at one point, Jennifer Lawrence's character goes to grab some and asks one of the employees, "Where do I pay for this?" "It's free." "What?" "It's the White House. The snacks are free." And for the rest of the movie,
Yeah.
she
gets
has a
hung-
chip over her shoulder. She's
No.
like, he's a
It's like
three-star general.
it's like a level of PTSD almost of just how far this affected her, like in her psyche. And it's so funny.
And everyone's been there.
That
There's
is
been
funny.
that one thing someone does that just for like weeks bugs the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And I just like for her, it's just like, he's a
Why didn't you just say thank you? I
Yeah.
think it would have been it meant nothing to you. Why didn't you just say thank you?
What he gets paid. He's
He's a
with
3-star
the
general.
Pentagon.
Yeah.
Why did he need the money? Like,
Or
just
what's the other character? What's the guy that works at NASA? What's his name?
Rob Morgan. It's like Dr. Oglethorpe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked
Oglethorpe.
how he was like also talking about it. Was like one time he went out of his way to fart in my.
oh no,
general...
that was Sting.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
talking about Sting. Yeah,
Sting
I
farted
once
right
met
in
Sting.
front of me
Yeah.
and made eye contact.
No, he didn't even. No, he
He
didn't
didn't-
acknowledge it.
okay.
He didn't make eye contact.
But he was still charming.
I still
found
found
him
him
charming.
Yeah, that they could have fucking beaten that joke to death, but I felt like they spaced it out enough to where I always thought it was funny when it was brought up.
it was every time they were at the White House.
It was every time they were at the White House, but also like randomly when she was on her own, she's
Yeah.
just like,
And yeah, no, any person that she's talking to, she
Yeah.
mentions the 3-star general. And then, like, also when they come back to the White House, the general's just passing
Yeah,
by
she
with
gets-
other workers. He's like, "Hey, watch out! He might charge you for free shit."
Yeah.
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 I thought, yeah. Also, to kind of just like on the nose comedy that was a little bit obfuscating the movie a bit for me is just Jonah Hill's treatment of Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
It's just like bullying her for no reason. It's just like so on the cheat sheet trivia section of Don't Look Up, Jonah Hill said that his notion of his character was, what if Fire Festival was a person?
Oh my god. Yeah, and it's funny because he's just so outwardly aggressive to her. Like immediate, like
Yeah.
she comes because she's in like business casual to like the meeting, and he's like, "Yeah, thanks for dressing up," because everyone else is in suits and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just like, what the fuck? And they,
Or just saying how she had like, is she okay?
yeah, is she crazy? Is she? No, I also, and they also show a very realistic depiction of like social media interactions and like stuff
Yeah.
regarding it. Like a lot of people denying it, a lot of people just like, why won't you listen? Or the talk show host, which, and I'm gonna quote Kevin, the hottest Kate Blanchett has ever looked in any movie.
Jesus Christ! As soon as she showed up, I was like, "Oh my god!"
And I thought it was funny because like the way they show her off, you're immediately to and they did this on purpose. You're immediately to assume she's just like some TV host, not profession, not.
But
just,
it's when she starts flirting with Leonardo DiCaprio that I was like, Jesus Christ.
yeah. And he's like, I don't know much about you. What? And she's like, yeah, I've got 3 master's degrees, and it's like, oh Jesus Christ! And then you're seeing this whole different side of her,
Yeah.
and
She quotes poetry during the first lunch.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's just very interesting, and it's like
Yeah, she's like fluent in like 4 languages or something like that
Yeah,
too.
just because you're a personality doesn't mean you're not intelligent or not someone past that.
The thing about Kate Blanchett's character is like it's so interesting because she's at a point of her life where she knows what she wants. She's done everything that she wants, and now she's just living.
She's just
Yeah.
coasting.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
just like I'll break up a wedding. I'll break up a marriage if I have to because it's fun. I'll just drink. I'll fuck whoever I want.
Yeah.
And it's
Lit-
like the ideal thing because like she forces or like flirts with Dr. Mindy.
She very aggressively.
yeah,
Yeah,
really
enough
aggressive.
that like their marriage their relationship eventually gets confronted by June, and she's like, okay, let's skip this part.
Yeah.
Who do you want?
Literally, Kate Blanchett's like, can we just skip the part where you go on your little tirade and we make the decision if he wants to go with you to his boring life or stay with me, which is exciting and he's having fun. And the wife is like, oh, you mean skip the part where I make you feel bad for ruining a marriage? And she's like, yeah, because I don't.
yeah.
And just straight face. And immediately Leo's like, well, you see, life is complicated.
Complicated.
And his wife is like, oh, that was a fast decision. Yeah. And it was like, oh, fuck. God damn. That was brutal. Funny, but brutal.
Mhm.
Yeah, God, I'm trying to think of ways I can continue describing this movie without spoiling stuff.
Well, how far are we in?
We're about...
What are you just stretching for time?
No, I'm
No.
just saying. Like, I mean,
No, I just...
This is a very like limited. I don't know if you guys paid attention to the credits, but something that caught in my eye was that they had a lot of like anti-COVID personnel, and like safety people, and a lot of their auditions were done through Zoom, and like a lot of their meetings were done
Which-
through Zoom. So this is like a completely like
clean.
yeah.
no, this
Like
is like it was. I think it was filmed like just during the height of like quarantine, where and
I
like,
wouldn't be surprised.
and like panic because Timothy apparently also like didn't cut his hair during quarantine. So during a Zoom meeting, when they were casting him, they just told him like, "Yeah, I know you could keep your hair long," because like it wasn't that it
And he's
wasn't
like, rad.
it's like it wasn't the character thing for him to have like long hair and be like a skater, I guess. But yeah, no.
Yeah. But-
Also, Jennifer Lawrence had a missing tooth that she couldn't get fixed because the pandemic was happening.
Mhm.
So they just added it in post.
Yeah.
that's funny.
That, I didn't.
I didn't
know
know
that.
that.
I didn't
know
even
that.
notice that.
But fucking Ron Perlman's character was hilarious.
Which one's Ron Perlman?
Yeah,
The
he's just-
general that
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
pilot.
What's
and
his
stuff.
job at the White
No,
House?
I thought it was
though?
like
Is it
I
just-
thought it was like the captain.
he's a military man. I don't know. He's qualified enough to go to space.
He was a pilot, military guy, and
but
then
like, what's he doing? Exercising?
He was
Yeah.
doing
He's a
the
coach?
presidential fitness
Okay.
like stuff because all these kids are working out, and he's like, "Come on, you fucking pussies!
Yeah.
Come on!"
from a different generation. He's
Yeah,
from a
no,
different
yeah,
generation.
That's every time
Everybody-
he talked, someone was
It's
like,
like-
"He's from the older generation."
It's from a
Yeah.
different generation. I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry.
meanwhile, he's just saying the most offensive shit.
Oh my
And, like,
god! Yeah.
when-
it's like, this goes out to the Indians, both
Oh,
kinds.
oh my
Both
God.
kinds.
Yo, how cool would it be if you guys got together?
I fucking lost it in my living room.
I like how the team really had to call and say, "Hey, just use this channel for just talking
Yeah.
to us."
And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
mission critical."
Yeah.
But I fucking lost it when he
this
was
goes
like,
out to the gays.
yeah, when he, oh, you hardworking white American.
Yeah.
It's different generation.
No,
different
yeah.
generation.
No, when he was like, man, how come the elephant Indian? By the way, I'm quoting. How come these Indians and the Native American Indians? How come you guys haven't teamed up? That'd be cool as shit. It was just like, what the fuck? Oh my
man.
god. It was so good, but I was just, and it was funny because every time he would say something, he's from an older generation.
Yeah.
He's just,
They're always excusing.
that was
the-
just the times, and it was just constant, just fucking one after another. No, I think they should have trimmed the fat a little bit more on this movie.
This movie was long.
Yeah.
It was really long, especially for me.
I think the idea also is just the to kind of illustrate the effort to try to get the word out,
Yeah.
and unsuccessfully, because like literally all Dr. Mindy and Kate are trying to do is just like let the public know that the comet is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a process,
'Cause they're-
and no one is listening, and people are taking it the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah, because there's one part where it's talking about the Don't Look Up campaign and the Look Up campaign. I felt like they could have cut about half of that section,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
this-
it would have still kept the same.
Like they had already has the idea, like the Don't Look Up campaign and the Don't Look Up already had its ideas, like, okay, it's gonna create a hashtag, all the celebrities are gonna endorse it, it's gonna split political parties for whatever reason, but it stretched a little bit long. They did more scenes with like Meryl Streep doing rallies and shit.
I really didn't need to see Ariana Grande sing a song called "Look Up."
I thought I really liked the song,
The
and I really
song-
like Ariana
Oh.
Grande.
It was funny, but like,
It was not needed.
did it really need to be in
It
there?
didn't need to be in there.
So, during the movie, there's a QR code, I think, that shows up. And yeah, scanning that QR code just takes you to the music video of the song.
That is
on
amazing.
YouTube.
That's actually kind of cool. I'll give them points for that.
The Bash ad where they were talking about so it's like, this comet's gonna give us all these jobs, and then Dr. Mindy goes like, yeah, and it can create some questions. If you have any questions, you can talk to one of our scientists at this
Oh,
number.
yeah.
This
And
phone,
then
that phone
only
number
for Bash people.
Yeah,
only
only
for
for
Bash
people- yeah.
providers. Anyone else?
Free for
roaming
pa-
fees.
yeah, free
and
for
stuff.
Bash.
that
providers.
phone number, you notice it's not a 555 number. That's a 1-800 number for like those like hot women like talk sign phone lines. So yeah, no, there are jokes on jokes. It's a
It's a very layered movie.
augmented reality jokes in there.
So, funny story about the sex phone line thing. Okay,
Oh, you've been.
Ah.
on accident. So here's
Oh,
what,
on accident.
so
now.
here's what happened. At work, we had a team meeting, and they sent over, because we do this like phone conferencing thing, and the manager sent over the phone number to call, but she messed up like two of the numbers. She like
Oh, she flipped him.
she flipped them. So I called that number, and I'm like, okay. And at first I'm like, this is weird. It's not giving me the normal like intro thing. But then it's like, hey, you're calling to speak to hot singles. And I'm like, what
Whoa!
the fuck? And it was like a 2-number difference. So it's like, that is actually it was a 1 number. I think she put down like the last number is 4 instead of 5. So I'm like, how the fuck is our phone number that close to a sex line? Because I emailed back. I'm like, hey, you got this number wrong. She's like, oh, okay, thanks. And she's like, thanks for pointing out. I'm like, yeah, I found out because I called the old one, and it went to a very different type of phone line.
Maybe she was just trying to tell you
And-
something.
And she's like, oh, okay, oops. And I'm like, I don't think you understood what phone line I just fucking called.
She
We're
was
now
trying
gonna
to-
get charged per minute.
Yeah. But
I cost this company $20.
I'm putting the bill toward you guys.
But no, as soon as I started hearing the breathy speech, I was like, that's not what I called for.
And then just to make sure, you called again, right?
Yeah.
You have
but
to double
like
check.
after work.
Yeah. No, you call during work so you can charge it. It's a business call.
Yeah, so I get paid for it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You get paid for it, and it also gets paid for.
So I'm trying to. There was another point I wanted to make about this movie. I don't know. I'm surprised.
All the dumb challenges that come out of it, I thought were kind of like on the nose a little bit.
Yeah, I was surprised when initially I was seeing articles talking about Oscar buzz. It's probably going to be a Oscar like nomination and stuff like that, and I was, oh, okay, cool, because initially it released in theaters. It did not come out on Netflix until like 2 weeks.
No, I think it does a week. So
Because it released in theaters early December and then didn't go on to Netflix until Christmas Eve. And that's because the fucking Oscars is trying to be nitpicky because they don't want streaming movies to be nominated. So it has to have a theatrical release for a
Right.
certain amount of time.
That's
before
what the Bird one that they had to do for Netflix as well.
Bird Box.
Bird Box, yeah,
Yes.
because Bird Box.
So,
didn't
and
Did
make
that have a
anything.
theatrical release?
Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
That's how I was able to
And
get into the
any
Oscars. I believe.
any movie that Netflix is like, there's a chance this could win an Oscar, or we want this to get an award, they do a theatrical release and then they release it on Netflix.
I
Because they
don't
did
know
this.
because they put Red Notice out for theaters, and I don't think that's like they're planning on having shit. Also, Army of Thieves, not Army of Thieves, Army of Darkness,
Army of the Dead.
Army of
Darkness is Bruce Campbell
yes.
and
yes.
Evil Dead. But
I
it
have no idea.
it got all that buzz, and obviously not a lot of people went to see it in theaters because why would they when it's just going to come out on Netflix? And then I watched it and I'm like, this is good, but it's got some rough edges to it.
I think.
And now that I look online, a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's terribly unfunny," like Mike over here.
Yeah,
But
I'm glad I wasn't like. Yeah, I didn't even look at the reviews even after I watched it. I was just happy to be done with it personally. But I mean, okay, I gotta stop dashing this movie.
no, kid, that's literally the point of this podcast.
I
is to
know,
give your
but like,
opinion.
because oh man, this movie just hurt my soul. Like the parts that made me stop was the broadcast, like when they started the broadcast, the first time around with like the
Daily Rip.
the Daily Rip.
Okay.
I had to pause it there because I was like, oh, this is killing me.
Now,
and then I paused it there, and
when
then
you
I
say
came
it
back
was
around.
killing you, it was killing you because you were getting upset by like what was happening, or it was killing you because you were just not enjoying it.
I was just not having to. I wasn't laughing at the jokes that they were trying to do there.
Okay.
I wasn't like I said, I didn't like Leonardo DiCaprio's character, so I wasn't involved. I wasn't like intrigued on how he was gonna get through this conversation. It was more like subtly kind of just like, come on, say it, man, just say it. But I understand this is your character, but I want you to still do something, please. And so I had to pause it, and I was like, I'm just going to play video games. And then I came back, and then I was like, all right, here we go, round 2. And then when I watched it, I finally got through that part. I stopped again, I think, when he started to get with the other chick. When he started to get with the newscast, I stopped there because I was like, okay, I saw that a mile away, okay. And so I did something else, and I came back, and I finally finished it. And like I think the last third to maybe last quarter, I actually enjoyed what was left, but the first part of this movie I was just dying. Like and that was the worst part too, was like the very beginning intrigued me, like the very beginning about them discovering the comet and everything like that, and then up to like the White House, everything started to go downhill for me.
It's because they're just waiting out in the hallway
Exactly.
for like
A day.
a day. Yeah.
Yeah, and so at that point I was kind of like, oh boy.
It's like and John Hill comes out, like, sorry boys.
And that's when I realized it was a dark comedy, because I don't look at, and I just go into the movie completely blind.
yeah, you trust Ritter.
Yeah, I just trust Ritter that whatever he recommends, I'll just watch it. And then, so like, I have no idea what kind of movie this is going to be or anything. I just know Leonardo DiCaprio is in it, and that's it. And so I watch it. I never read the synopsis. And so I just kind of go in. That way I don't have like any like,
Poisoning impressions.
yeah, I don't have any, I don't like having impressions going into movies we got to review.
I mean, that's fair.
You don't want to have your boat already steered.
Yeah,
before you
exactly.
leave port. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I like
steer your
free
boat.
boating. I just let the handle go, and I'm just like, all right, where are you gonna take me today? Obviously this time around it beat my booty, but Pirates
Beat
raided.
your meat.
Yeah, Pirates raided my ship, and it was not a good time.
What is this metaphor?
But fortunately, like, some sailors came and saved the day, I guess, at the
Oh my
very
God,
end.
what is happening?
that was my that was the feeling I was having during this whole movie. Relief at the end when brave sailors came to save my poor ship from sinking.
The score was just there.
It was.
What are you talking about? It was like some really fire jazz.
I did not listen to this score at
oh
all.
my God,
I
you
did not
guys!
listen.
the song by Ariana
I
Grande
was-
was pretty funny.
I was suffering too much to pay attention to the score.
No, it was fast. It was snappy. Oh my god! And no, I love the music in this.
Yeah.
I think I was too focused
You
on
guys
the things
not
that were
paying attention to
killing
the
me.
music.
Cinematography.
Cinematography was good. I'll give it that. It had a lot of good cinematography. I liked the pan shots of certain things. I liked how. The weird thing is I like how background stuff goes through like things like there was one scene where it was showing like a top of a building of things happening, and then at the bottom there was other things happening. I thought that was a really good
I think
shot.
I know which building roof he's
You
talking
you
about.
guys know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Oh
huh?
yeah, This is bad.
Like,
I'd like to be in
that was
building roof.
that was like an interesting like viewpoint of like things that are going on
Oh yeah.
at that point in time.
50
Um,
Shades of Up.
Actually, I think I'm
Very
I think
realistic
I'm
depiction
remembering.
of what would
I think
happen.
I'm remembering something else.
Maybe
like,
Ritter,
okay,
now
okay,
you're thinking
hold
of a
on.
different.
I thought they were just eating food up there.
Oh,
Like
you're
I thought
so
it was.
innocent.
I thought it was like just them eating food trays and things like that, and then.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
they're a bunch of eating.
Oh my god! I just.
They're really into eating
What-
food.
You could tell how into this movie I actually was
Wait,
not.
how small of a screen were you looking at?
I was just looking at my. I was just watching on a 32-inch TV screen, but
I don't know.
should
It's
have
kind of
seen.
yeah. I know. It's kind of hard to see
Like, you
because
see-
it was all.
Listen, you can see titty.
from
And
space.
you can see
yeah.
ass.
I
in that
did not.
shot.
I thought I was looking at food. If I'm being completely honest, I thought I saw just.
Yeah, he was looking at
I
something he
thought
could
it was-
take a bite out of.
I swear to God, I thought people were just eating nicely up there. Like, honest to God.
With like flaming carnage at the street level.
Yeah.
Even people just eating food at the top.
I thought that was showing a
I
dichotomy
mean,
of
they were eating something.
No, I honest to God thought it was like a dichotomy of like what how people
fucking-
are better living than other people.
Oh, they were living better.
I swear to God, that's what it was. That's what I thought it
Oh,
was.
you sweet summer child, baby boy.
I wish I had the audio from that scene just to play it and go, Mike, how does it sound like they're eating food? Because you
I
just
was-
hear
It's really good food.
I was more focused on the gunshots and stuff like that. I didn't even realize it. Oh my God, that's how like I guess
That's
cut
how-
off from this movie I was.
how
at that point.
marine can you be? The gunshots get more attention than the whole roof of people fucking.
Well, it was like half and half, but I think I was more focused on one side, and then I just kind of glanced at the other side.
And
I
Dude,
was
the
like, oh,
one
man.
side you would focus on is bright ass red.
No, it was just red and dark. So I
And you
didn't
just
really.
saw a bunch of humping bodies.
I honest to God thought they were just eating really like. I thought it was a nice.
I thought they
restaurant.
were wrestling.
No, I swear to God, I thought it was a nice restaurant that people were just eating at and just
Right,
enjoying their
poolside-
lives
poolside
as
rooftop
like
restaurant,
as like
yeah,
people were suffering down at the bottom. I thought that was showing a dichotomy between that, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't actually get too focused in on what was going on the red side. Because I was more focused on all the shortcomings on on like the floor on the ground, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh damn.
That's although
Like,
it-
look at these people, like, eating all fat and happy, and then these people are, like, suffering,
The-
trying to get the next meal. I was like,
a
damn.
fucking rooftop orgy like showed up on screen. I did kind of like fucking lose it because it's just absurdly funny.
Wait,
But
I took something out. Wow, I can't believe I
realistic.
missed that.
It's realistic. Have you guys seen this like set of photography that a photographer did of just sexy fruit?
I
it's
did
just-
not. Nope.
So it's like peaches and pears and like sweet potatoes, but like they're misted with like water, so they look a little bit sweaty, and under the correct lighting, they look like legs and thighs and shit. And it's like the fucking, it's so gorgeous, and it gets you so hard looking at food.
God.
But it's
I'm
so
worried about you,
erotic.
man.
It's erotic food. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Kevin never wanted to eat a pear so bad.
I guess familiar with the sketch comedy group Derek.
No, I have no idea what that is.
Derek?
Yes.
No,
Derek
but I
Comic.
heard he's a cool guy.
So it's Donald Glover's sketch comedy group that he started on the internet with two other comedians, who
Okay.
I believe he has put in movies every once in a while. But it's kind of a bummer I don't see them anymore. One of their more one of their more famous sketches is "Don't jack off to that bowl of fruit,"
What the fuck?
and it's offhandedly just mentioned like it's three friends because the sketch their group is just like three guys one of them being Donald Glover, and they go into a hotel, and then the hotel guy says like, "Hey, don't jack off to that bowl of fruit," and then they're like, "Why would we do that?" And he like closes the door, and then everyone just kind of like plays it off as a joke. It's like, this is funny. It's like, look at this bowl of fruit, and then it gets to them, and then it seeps in. It's like, what? That question, it just digs at your brain. Why would you? It's just a bowl of fruit. Why would you want to jack off to it?
Yeah.
And so one by one, they try to stop themselves. One of the greatest bits in that is, I think it's Donald Glover's character. He gets a bowl. He gets like a sock, a toilet paper roll to mimic the look of that bowl of fruit, and then just starts jacking off because it's like a banana and an apple.
Yeah.
So he like recreates it with like a rolled up sock and like some other paraphernalia, and then he's like, "It's not the same." And then like his friend walks in, is like, "No," it's like, "No, you can't." And he's like, "I gotta do it." They're all just breaking down.
Oh my god.
Just one by one, just the fruit.
Yeah, no,
gets
and
you.
then they like fight over the bowl of fruit to jack off to it. It's a fantastic sketch. There's one that hasn't aged well. It's very pre-2010 humor, but it's a spelling bee one. And it's basically the joke is asking a white kid to spell the N-word and
Oh,
use it in a sentence, but it's so funny. Oh god, it's a part of my childhood.
You sound.
Wait, well, so what was the
Bro.
whole?
I was talking
reason-
about sexy fruit because
Oh.
you were talking about they're eating food.
Oh
and
yeah,
the sexy fruit
yeah.
photography.
I can't believe I missed that.
And
How
then-
did I? How in the world did I miss
jacking
that?
off to a banana.
I can't get over the fact I missed that.
And now
I really
grapefruits
wasn't paying
are
attention.
now a budget option for Tenga eggs and Ona holes.
Oh, thanks for that.
Good to know. Now sponsored by.
Grapefruit? Yes.
Yep.
I hate
Tenga,
this.
hit us up.
No, stop. No.
Faku, hit us up.
Oh God, dude, it just. Oh.
Hey, if they start shelling out money, I'll say whatever.
Fucking Cinema Bun sponsored Ahigao gear. Let's fucking go. But
Whose faces are on there?
ours. It's just us recreating the same scenes. But
Anyways, also like some of the end shots of just like people around the world. That was pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah. So there was
That
a
was
lot
really
of.
cool.
I'm pretty
they
sure.
intersperse like life shots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's stock footage.
Yeah.
It could be, but it was still nice. I
With
liked
like
it.
the TV broadcast of like Meryl Streep doing a presidential announcement, like just on the TV that's on there.
Yeah,
Looked pretty natural, a little bit weird,
yeah.
but it makes sense. Interspersed with like bugs fighting and like plants growing,
Right.
and it's a great illustration of our life on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hodgepodge of culture, not just humans, but all living things living their life, and seeing how it's all limited by time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Good.
So you guys
Good-
want to talk about the
good
ending
point.
then?
No,
I guess
I-
we'll never talk about.
I
the
don't
ending.
want to mention the ending because I want people to watch it,
Oh,
and I don't want, like Kevin said, I don't want their like viewing experience to be ruined by if they know what's going to happen.
Hmm.
Because
because it's us going through a murder mystery movie and just saying who the killer is.
but
Okay.
I think final recommendation is I think you should watch it. It's going to make you upset. It's going to make you laugh. And
It might not make you upset.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Depending on
Or
your
it
disposition.
might not make you laugh because apparently from the reviews it's not for everyone. But I think it's a movie that's worth at least giving a shot because I think it's well made. I like the director. I like some of the stuff he's done.
The performances are probably like the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
The performances are great. So, I mean, the director, he's hit or miss, but the performances are good. So, I would say at least give it a chance.
I think that actually the weakest actors in this movie are Kid Cudi and Ariana Grande.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I believe that.
But yeah, no. I still look forward to seeing Lady Gaga in House of Gucci. So
Yeah.
she's gonna win her second Oscar, baby.
Let's go!
Let's go. Yeah, but Kid Cudi, Ariana Grande, Don't Look Up song is pretty fire too.
What about you, Mike?
As a movie for enjoyment, I don't recommend, but as a movie to kind of reflect about like the current happenings of 2019 to 2020, I think
To
it's
21.
to 21
And then
And
22.
2022.
and to 2022, I guess.
We're now
I
at
think,
COVID 21, baby!
I think is a good
Hey, it's legal to drink.
Yeah. I think it's a good representation on what could happen if we just don't if we stay the course.
it's
You know,
fucking just
If we
like
keep
also
the status quo.
the Jennifer Lawrence's character very accurately mimics the amount of dread as oncoming death and apocalypse was coming to her.
Right.
It's the same feeling that everyone did during the first or the mid part of 2020. There is a non-0% chance that the world and country would react the same way in this movie if an actual comet was headed towards this
Right.
planet.
Yeah.
And that's
Sad.
comforting?
Is it comforting?
Not really.
Or does it just make you sad? Because it makes me sad. Gives me that big sad energy.
I just think it's important to spread awareness, whether you agree or not.
Yeah.
Stay educated, peeps.
But, yeah. I think that's all I've got to say on it.
Yeah. If you want to be in the ignorant bliss, more power to you, but don't complain when it gets popped.
Fair. All right. Wise words of wisdom from our resident Mike.
Yep.
Um,
That's all I got for you.
with that, thank you for joining us again for Cinema Buns. You please recommend us to your friends. We're on every major podcasting platform. You can also find us on Twitter and patreon.com/cinemabuns there if you want to support us and help us do what we do. All our tiers give you access to our Discord server, and even our $3 tier allows you to make recommendations. So if you want to do that, go ahead and do it, baby. With that, join us next week. I'm Ritter.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Kevin.
He was looking for a bit. He was digging for one.
He was
couldn't find
trying.
it. Yeah.
I have not had one in like several weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Movie podcast. Some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us. We're Cinema Buns.